Hey guys, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 2. I hope you like these counters for like the various things up there in the corner because they are going to stay there. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my GPU right now, but it's definitely having some problems. As you can see, the heat is pretty high there, and then I'll end up getting some frame drops or something. So, like I said, that's going to stay there for a bit. Hopefully, before the month is out, I'll have figured this out and fixed it, and then that'll be gone. But enjoy it while it lasts. You get to see just how hot my computer is getting here. Game here is going to be between AGameAnx, playing as the random, but he rolls Galzian here, and FrostyTeeth. This is going to be Groupstage A, of course. Like I said before, as is customary, I cast A first, then B, then C, and it's actually just because it's very easy to organize it that way. This is AGame's pick, Firebase Curl. Of course, he is the lower seed here. Being, in fact, in spot number 1, I mentioned this in the last video, but being the champion the last 2 tournaments will do that for you. He's almost certainly going to be spot number 1 for the next tournament, too, even if he loses this one. FrostyTeeth, meanwhile, picking the Boneyard, that's going to be game 2. Galzian versus Soban, don't see that terribly often. Should be a pretty fun matchup right here. Frosty situating his carry right on top of all these salvagers right here. It's a little bit interesting. I usually don't do this because I feel like, yeah, see how he has to like circle around like that? But it's tricky because that coalition carrier is so notoriously bad at like handling. This is probably why this has happened, but I've learned the ways. Just hit V, hold down the center, drag outside of that circle that you see, the red circle here, and he will just stand still and move in whatever direction you want. It's like, oh, it's so easy. One day I finally figured it out. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but I think it is. LED armor coming out here. Interesting to see. Really hope he doesn't go Sport Cruiser first off the back of this because we know what that leads to. 4 salvagers up here on the second. Wow. And how's that being seen? By a scanner. Okay, yeah. He's got a... Oh, yeah, the aggressive scanner. We saw him doing that a little bit earlier, A-Game was. No LAVs on the way yet for FrostyTeeth? I don't know. A-Game is checking for tech here, certainly. Wants to see if that little AAV module is going to pop up, railguns, whatever, strike fighters, I don't know. If he doesn't see it, I mean, he's very safe to go for refinery mode here, which he does have. 2 salvagers up on that base as well. He'll begin the mining process. Salt chip fabrication being the tech of choice for A-Game as well now. So, very quiet early game here. No one really wanting to do anything too crazy. Scanner here going to get plinked down very slowly by this LAV. Maybe you could get some high ground and just put him down like right here and then tell him to hold ground, but hard to say. Man, check out those decals! Now I gotta say, after I watched that GDC video, I realized just how good DOK looks from far away. Like, wow. I mean, I know it's not that impressive, like how does it look close up, but even then, pretty good. Whereas most games like this, you get terrain that just, you can see the triangles in the ground there. Whereas in DOK, they hide them very nicely. Using these decals, but you get it like that, you can kind of see terrain artifacts popping up like you expect from most games. Oh, people are still trying to talk to me. Anyway, we can rock like 70 frames when we're up here in this menu. I do actually have another frame counter right there, but I just haven't turned it off. It's the one from the Steam overlay, but it's like on top of the green text for GPU there, but I don't think that gets picked up by my recording software. Yeah, if you see these things heating up, yeah. CPU's already at 94 degrees Celsius. Ooh. That is pretty normal, but it's not good. Yeah, I need to figure out what's doing that and fix it. That's okay though, so it is going to be interceptor fabrication coming up from A-Game here. I think... No, he's not. Yeah, I was going to say he's probably making another production cruiser then to fill up the space here. That's what I would do. I think a common problem that I run into is if I go for interceptor fabrication before having 2 PCs, it's just so hard to get the third one. Sorry, the second one. I mean, he needs to get a second production cruiser at some point, yeah? So you know this is not going to be the biggest investment into air, not as like kind of a late game strategy. He wants kind of like one push with it, clearly. Probably. I mean, clearly probably. But it's because of what I'm saying. He doesn't have the production cruiser, he's going to need it. He didn't start building it while it was on the way, so... In my experience, that's usually what that means. AV fabrication starting out for FrostyTeeth. Quite late, and he cancels it too. And I just don't know what he's doing, really. I don't know. I really haven't got a clue. Like, no tech has been chosen here. He's just going with LAVs. He's getting a lot of upgrades for them. There's assault ships on the field already. Like, I don't know. With really good micro, you can probably like pick this guy off and then pop in. Armor 1's finished. Yeah, but you have damage 1. You do outrange assault ships, you know, but that's a risky game to play, especially with AGameAnx. And he has no scouting information at all. He doesn't know anything about this, so I don't know, man. There's something weird here, and I have a feeling A-Game scouting out with these sand skimmers is going to be kind of thinking the same thing. Like, what's going on exactly? Like, what? You know, he's going to get to the carrier here and be like, no tech? Really? what do you do at this point as AGameAnx? I don't really know. What are you going to do then? It's definitely a non-standard play. I guess I would say that. Well, interceptors continue to be built here. That's a pretty good move. I don't know, man. I really don't know. You know, the interceptors are good even if your opponent doesn't actually like play standard. You can still come into his carriers. Well, these guys are actually really split up, aren't they? But you know, they're gonna kill salvages. They will. I say that because interceptors rely pretty heavily on splash damage, especially because they're rather inaccurate. So if these guys are bunched up more, it's gonna do more damage to them. Anyway, this is the problem with Frosty's strategy, though. No mid-tier techs at all, and A-Game's got them. He's got the assault ships here, so he's trading quite effectively. Trying to micro as best he can too, stay up on the high ground with those duels. I think he's doing a pretty decent job of it. These are really upgraded LAVs, so they're hard to kill here. And you can see they're doing quite a bit of damage even to the unit, which should be their counter in the assault ships. It doesn't really matter if both these armies die. I mean, A-Game lost like 3 assault ships. Let's check the units lost tab actually. Yeah, actually, that looks surprisingly good for FrostyTeeth. But the real problem is one of momentum. Frosty's got nothing going on elsewhere in the map, and so once this is finished, which it will be, make no mistake, what's he got to fall back on? Nothing, really. Interceptor's gonna pull up here. They've got good targets right here. I would actually maybe just hit that. Yeah, he will. I say that because, again, they're bunched up. Although they are moving, which is a little bit of a drag, but you can see 2 of them do end up kicking the bucket there. Actually, you don't want the salvagers to stand still there, but it's not like you can really micro that very easily. But yeah, curiously, he would have actually probably lived if he kept moving. These LAVs up on high ground having a good time against this assault ship, relatively speaking. What I mean by that is that they're all dead. That's the thing. You're talking about, you know, counter units here, so what does a good time really mean? This is just a weird strategy. So we finally have a tech for Frosty. I didn't catch this, but AV fabrication just finished. You can see that opening up there. Oh, and a spore cruiser's done too. I should have recognized its very distinct movement sound. So, okay. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on here, really. Second production cruiser's out. Like I said, A-Game not really overcommitting to the strike fighters, but he does have 6 of them. Or interceptors, that is. One carrier gonna try to ward off this aggression right here. There's a spore cruiser holding the main now. But, yeah, peanut bombers. Precision bomber fabrication coming up for AGameAnx now. I don't know, I kind of get the feeling Frosty didn't really have like a very defined strategy. Like, he didn't totally know what he was gonna do. I mean, I wouldn't really blame him. He's up against AGameAnx after all, but that kind of mentality of what I just said actually might be part of the problem. I say that all the time, but it is kind of true, you know, if you expect yourself to lose a game, you usually do. Crizzage! Here come the strike fighters, or interceptors, I've done it again. Actually, it's dumping damage on that carrier, but you can see they do quite a lot of it. It's only 6 interceptors, you know. However, probably not what A-Game really... it doesn't matter, never mind. I was gonna say, like, what he needs to do? No, that's alright. What he wants to do? Hardly matters at this point. I mean, he is gonna take out the main of the assault ship. Maybe this actually makes a lot of sense, just try and kill off that carrier. Maybe that's why he's gone for bombers, too. Just get the damage done, you know? One of the interceptors nearly dying, but he's gonna be happy with that result. I'm sorry about that. I don't know, I feel like assault ships even could do some relevant damage to a Savant carrier in the pack. Only 15 armor, it's the easiest one to kill when it's at level 0 power up there. And that could be problems for the Savant player on defense sometimes, because you obviously can't power up the armor if you have any other defensive systems running. You're reliant on those ALMs or the weapons of the carrier or something at least. So yeah, powering up armor is kind of a hard decision this so long. And yeah, look at that. A-Game actually taking it with these assault ships here, it looks like. Should get up on high ground there. It's going to make a very big difference when you're dealing with high armor targets like that. And down goes FrostyTeeth. This guy, promoted to Guardian. Nice. Fleet Command, like, you killed that carrier? Like, well, I mean, not just me, but you're a Guardian now, dude. You win. You win the prize. I don't know. I don't know what Frosty's plan was. It's not really, I've said before, it's good when you feel like you're outmatched in a series to try and play something non-standard, you know, try to catch people off guard. It's not good to have no plan and just kind of do weird things, though, because it's, like, there's a reason why no one does that, you know what I mean? And so, you know, if you're putting yourself at a disadvantage against someone you're equally matched with by this strategy, then doing it against someone like AGameAnx, you're probably just gonna get throttled. You get my point. You gotta play non-standard to catch people off, but you gotta play still a little bit standard. You know what I'm saying? Catch my drift. Gonna be a base run retirement from both sides now. Gives Frosty enough to make a support cruiser if he wants to. I'm wondering if it's going to be SC first. It is. I approve. I approve of this quite a lot. Just a very solid strategy, you know what I mean? So many things you can do off the support cruiser first. It just seems, I don't know, just seems very, very good in a lot of ways. We do see double production cruiser coming out from A-Game though, which is going to be the more aggressive strategy here. Question is, can you hold, right? If your opponent is doing, a 2PC kind of, you know, rush build here, can you hold him or not? If you go support cruiser first, but normally the answer would be yes. Like it's the kind of build that's very safe. You can usually get away with it if you're good enough. So. Let's see here. Support cruiser comes out, Frosty moving the carrier quite nicely. I like that. Actually, 6 up is very reserved, but maybe that's good in this case. I don't know though. You can usually get away with 7, I would say. Oh, that's what I was gonna do before I left on my trip. I was gonna make that support cruiser first video. I just kind of have like in my head like what series am I running, and sometimes I forget about them and I just don't make anything for a long time. Like remember riding it like we stole it. I am actually gonna keep making those, you know, just not right now. Assault ship fabrication gonna be the tech of choice here for AGameAnx. Production cruises in a bit of a spread here. You're normally trying to kind of keep them hidden a little bit. I wonder. No, he's kind of moving them toward the same location. Sometimes I've done things when I do assault ship first like that, or assault ship with 2PC, where I have one of them kind of try to fight out here, make it look like both of them are there, and then suddenly I come in on this side with like 3 assault ships and try to take out the main. That actually seems pretty effective, although A-Game usually tells me I pull out too fast, like I don't really commit enough when I'm doing this kind of stuff. AV fabrication comes out for FrostyTeeth. That's just as well. That's kind of what you need in this scenario. Oh, he's playing Coalition, by the way. I didn't catch that. Hey, somebody who actually knows that you can change faction between matches. I like that. I didn't catch. Was A-Game random, or was he, like, did he choose Galzian? I am not knowing it. Oh, well. Heavy Vehicles Armor 1 as well from FrostyTeeth. Like I said, gonna be just as well. That's really what he needs here. A base runner was produced. I don't really agree with retiring the early game base runner if you're gonna make another one. But he sets down a turret immediately. That's actually also gonna be probably good for him. Normally I don't do this because I feel like if your opponent's backs away now, you're kind of at a disadvantage. That's actually not a bad placement for it though. I think... actually I'm not sure, but I think he's got coverage over like kind of this whole area here. You know what I mean? In which case it's gonna be pretty good. And yeah, look at that, A-Game is going to back away. You heard it say, you know, heretic turret detected, so he knew that that was set up there. I guess he's just going to be like, nope, kind of hop out of that one before it's too late. Refiner mode on the cards here. He's going to get it. That's the plan for A-Game. So what you should do then as Frosty is recognize what's going on here. So yeah, my opponent is backing away. stop committing into defense and start committing into eco, because otherwise you'll fall behind. Like railgun fabrication's on the way here. I'd say cancel that once you understand that nothing's coming. Like, look at the vision that Frosty has got. If he wants to know if the production cruiser's right here, he can send a probe if he wants. And then you're pretty safe. So you can cancel this, start making another support cruiser, move the carrier up to the third. You already got a turret on second, you got AAVs here on main. You should have a pretty good time there. Although, interestingly, he's getting killed here. This is Armor 0 assault ships too. I'm kind of unsure how that's happened. I think Smoke Micro maybe is just missing there. Well, oh, no, that's gonna be okay. He does need to smoke this though. Smoke it. Smoke it! No! It was just a little too slow for that one salvager. Anyway, my point is, as you can see, Frosty actually is now going to be falling behind a little bit. But there's potential for counterattack here. There's potential for counterattacks here. You know, AAV and a turret against this tech from A-Game, that's going to be really good. Especially with missile ships coming out on the queue now. I think you should be able to hold off in the third there. Just like set down a turret right here. I don't play Coalition, you know, but if I did, this is what I'd be doing like all day, every day. Just stupid turret strategies to tilt people. Set down a turret here on like the third. With that AV there in tow as well, you're gonna do some serious damage actually. Oh well, he is there with an AV. That's good. That is good. In fact, he will actually be able to kill the first assault if he wants to, but it's probably better to just kind of take out these salvagers here. And not even attack the Sandstorm, I would say. A-Game's happy if the Sandstormers are getting killed here because that means the AAV is getting distracted, so. Extraction comes down for FrostyTeeth. The base runner will be denied by these assault ships right here, so that's going to be game over for him. It's okay though, I think. And Armored Unit Defenses is 1 just now finally coming out for A-Game. So this will be denied here, this little attack. Only one salvager goes down, that's not too bad. Frosty knows his opponent is playing defensively. At least he should know. And he knows he's on 3 base too. I mean, I really think Frosty needs to have been getting onto a 3rd base like a long time ago. Actually, this base runner is gonna survive by dropping down a turret. Oh, we're getting the frame rate drops now. I noticed in the last video there's a part where I think Shrika was commented like, "Nice slideshow, man." I was like, oh no, because it just was getting so jumpy. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. Ooh, yeah, I can feel the heat coming off this computer. Oh boy. Anyway, point is, FrostyTeeth is in trouble here. Needs to be on 3rd base, he's not. Needs to be, making a good army, and he is, I guess, with the railguns, but he's never going to be able to match A-Game. This is the stage of the game where that's really all that matters, is eco and more eco. Because no one's going for a power play, no one's going for 2 base strats, and so you need to be atop your opponent in that regard. AV's going to be fine here. Railgun's not really in danger. That's good. Turret goes down in the south. Or, that's not the south. The west. Sorry about that. Frosty knows then about this attack here of assault ships. Looks like he's going to back up the railguns in response. And A-Game, this is actually what I was suggesting in my mind for him to do. If you know, like, that's kind of how I think, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, well, now that you've pulled him off that way, go check out his 3rd, but he'll find that there's nothing there. And he's got to be feeling very comfortable here. Like, good. All is well. All is well. I can basically get away with whatever I want at this point. Siege Cruiser Fabrication coming out now. If I heard correctly, this is less expensive than it was in Jaraci Cup 1. Either that or the unit itself is. So, something we don't see very often, I guess. I used to be a really big fan of Galcian Siege until I realized I was losing all the time. I think it's because it's just really hard to get to, but especially when I was trying to avoid a railgun fight with someone, and really I was like, I'm a railgun player still, but I was like only a railgun player back then, and now I kind of like am a bit more, I don't know, I find counterplay options rather than just doing that every single game. But back then, this was kind of like my only way of going around, like, using railguns, so I used to use Siege quite a lot. Sandskimmer raiding on the way for A-Game. I noticed he's got armor 2 already as well. Heavy Vehicles 2 is out now for Frosty. This is probably the reason why Sandskimmer's not going to be able to do much damage if his opponent has all this armor, so... Yeah, look at that turret. I gotta say, that is a superb turret from Frosty. Obviously, like I said, I wouldn't have been putting this down because I feel like you can get away without it, but the placement was perfect here, I think, because it is perhaps missing a little bit of line of sight right over here or something, but it's got pretty much full coverage, and a lot of those places it's going to actually have high ground on, too. Rating is done now. Big blob of Sandskers. I didn't realize how many were being built. It's 20 of them. Wow, alright. Looked like a bit more, actually. Assault Ship's going to come in here, too. Look at that good micro, pulling back the wounded guys immediately, and his turret is going to be the target for these Sandskers. He's just going all out here. He really wants to break this line. I didn't see this coming, actually. I thought he would wait for siege or something, but he's up on top with these assault ships now. Railguns are getting killed. Good missile batter barrage there, too, being damaged its core cruiser a lot. I would actually make that my next target with the Sandskimmers. It is going to get smoked there. But A-Game has broken through the line there pretty definitively. He lost a lot of units, right? But the turrets are both gone. The AAV... Actually, this doesn't look as good for him as I thought it did at first. However, it did pull all the units over. And this support cruiser perhaps going to die now. Question is, can Frosty save him with smoke here? Maybe you can. Yeah, this is why I was saying he should go after support cruisers, because then you guarantee some damage in this area. It's a little chaotic, but looking at it now, I think maybe A-Game not actually coming out ahead in that trade. There's also the element you've got to remember that if A-Game is ahead in eco, which he is, then even trades are actually good for him, right? Because who's going to rebound from like, let's say, both sides completely losing every army unit they have, right? Obviously, A-Game rebounds from this faster. He has more production, he has more money. So generally that would favor him. EMP shell coming up for the siege cruiser. Don't usually see this tech. It's one that I actually kind of dislike, so I tend not to use it for that reason, because I feel like it's kind of jank, but... Just because I hate EMP in video games, I don't like the way that they do it. I don't know, that's a really petty reason not to use an ability in an RTS game, but whatever. EMP shell is getting researched for this siege cruiser, so... We don't see that too often, except for, like, Tomcats, you know, he uses that all the time. This is one reason, by the way, that Galcian Siege, I think, doesn't stack up terribly well against Coalition Siege, is that you can see it fires only 2 missiles per indirect fire shot. I feel like with indirect fire you don't really get many hits in. It's like kind of the barrage is what makes the siege cruiser do its job, you know? I was actually recommending to A-Game. I felt like when I played Con F, I didn't realize that I was missing anything from when I was playing Galcian. And perhaps it's just because I'm not using the... Perhaps I'm just not using the carrier well enough. The Galcian carrier, of course, being very strong. But I don't know. I thought one of the things he ought to do is like make the indirect fire from Galcian Siege a little bit better. But that would kind of throw off the balance in some ways. I'm not really sure, so I'll leave that to him. Sandskimmers and Siege proving very effective against the army that Frosty's got right now. We just got things dying left and right here, so really no payoff. Look at the army for Frosty now. It is kind of, like I said, running very thin here. There is actually a nice backstab going on, though, but Frosty not going to see it come to fruition. Instead, chooses to surrender right there, and that is going to be the game. So, as that EMP shell arcs over the horizon there. It didn't actually get to do its job, but it would have been cool. Oh, look at that. Ooh. That's cool. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys are okay with the poor frame rates, but like I said, I am going to get that fixed probably in just a moment here, so that shouldn't persist for too long. But anyway, until next time. I was going to say something, but I don't know what.